Amazing. So my name's Blake Blevins, and I've had the privilege of serving as the resident director for this summer, and it has been just absolutely rewarding to get to know each and every one of these students and their just vibrant personalities. And I know that I don't have to tell you how proud you should be of them, but I can tell you how proud I am, which is just like indescribably so. And so without further ado, it's my privilege to introduce our next team, Nexxus Bond.
Hi, my name is Catherine Cole, and what I've learned from GSE is how to use my voice in a room full of business professionals. And how I'm going to bring back entrepreneurship to my community is by launching my small business and by spreading the creative ideals.
Hi, my name is Ethan Biddle, and I'm from Johnson County. And what I learned at GSE is how to run a year's worth of business financials. I'll also be using entrepreneurship to bring jobs back to a jobless area.
Hi, my name is Colin and I'm from Kenton County. One thing I learned from GSE is how to make better business connections. And another thing is that I want to bring entrepreneurship back to my community by growing my clothing brand.
Hi, my name is Riley Weber Horowitz, and I'm from Campbell County. One thing I learned at GSE is how to work through challenges and conflicts as a team. I'm also excited to bring entrepreneurship to my community through teaching my peers how to start their own businesses.
Every 2 minutes, a child is diagnosed with cancer. 3 years ago, my little sister fell into one of those 2 minutes. My little sister was a child who could run and jump and play 2 sports, soccer and volleyball. She attended a local elementary school in my hometown, and she could give a hug to anybody that she wanted without a worry in the world. However, one late night in July, my mom noticed a lump on the side of my sister's neck. And that's when we knew that everything would change. 5 doctors, 3 x-rays, and 1 biopsy later, and my little sister was diagnosed with stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma. A day after being diagnosed, my little sister had a port implanted in her chest. Because of this port, she was no longer a child who could run and jump and play, and she certainly couldn't give a hug to a family member without worrying about the impact on her port. When being diagnosed with cancer, is port protection what you want to worry about?
But it's not just the stories like Catherine's sisters. It's the stories like the 1.8 million who are diagnosed with cancer in the U.S. each year alone. Out of that 1.8 million, 650,000 of which will be administered chemotherapy every year. This chemotherapy can last anywhere from 3 to 6 months for just 1 round, and many of these patients will receive 6 rounds on average until they're either told that they're cancer-free or even worse. There's one thing they all have in common, though, and it's the port that's there to administer chemotherapy to them and different IV fluids. This port comes with a multitude of responsibilities when it comes to protecting it, because something as much as a family hug can push it in and they'll end up on a surgeon's table. So we started talking to different individuals. These individuals stressed many, many different things about having to take care of their port. That was starting with accessibility and how uneasily accessible it was to get access to their port because of simple things such as infections, even being jostled around or pushed down, which would end up with them on another surgeon's table. Right after that, they started stressing comfortability, many of them not being able to simply lay down to one side like many of us do every night. some of them not even being able to wear a seatbelt without having to wear a big, clunky pillow just to protect their port from being pushed down without them having to be on another surgeon's table. And finally, we have functionality. Many of them wearing as much as 3 sweatshirts at a time, even in summer months, or resorting to sporting equipment, all because they were worried that a simple family hug would push their port in and they'd be rushed into the hospital just to get that port replaced. We didn't see many people doing much about this problem. There weren't a lot. It was mostly just the homemade people who had thought of this idea because not many people are researching into it. But that's where we came in, because we decided that someone needed to combat this problem.
After seeing the effect that the lack of options had on our customers, our team became committed to providing a solution for people living with cancer ports, introducing Nexxus Bond. So here on the left, you can see the port cover that we are inventing directly on the port patient's chest. As you can see, it covers the entirety of the port as to prevent the user from experiencing any damage from collisions or impacts. Over here on the right, you can see our 3D model that we'll be using to print our port cover. As you can see, there are slits in the side for extra ventilation to prevent infection, and padding and adhesive will be added later. So, our product uses PLA filament for the 3D printers as a way to print the actual cover. So that's the plastic part that you see on the outside. On the inside, it will be lined with polyurethane padding, and that will be used to provide extra comfort for the user. Finally, acrylate adhesive will be used on the inside and underneath to adhere the port cover directly to the person's body. This is also the same material used in your common Band-Aids. All of these materials are FDA approved and safe for medical use on human skin. So, after multiple conversations with healthcare professionals and customers alike, we are confident that our product can provide accessibility, comfortability, and functionality.
When it comes to selling our product, we are primarily looking to partner with hospitals in the Kentucky area, like Cincinnati Children's and St. Elizabeth Healthcare. This will allow us to sell to the hospitals instead of directly to the patient, because that allows us to help more patients and sell more of our product. We will still sell directly to the patients, but we will primarily be focusing on hospitals. Our main competitors in this business are small businesses on Etsy and eBay. They create port pillows or straps for while you're in the car. And patients have also tried to create their own solutions, like wearing several different sweatshirts or old sports equipment, and that is it. There's nothing else that's being done to try and help these patients, and that's why we decided to come up with a solution. Our startup costs are $36,750, and we will break even within the 3rd to 4th month. Our startup costs encompass our legal fees, manufacturing, and advertising. And with that startup cost and the break-even point, that's really rare for a company of this size and scale. Our manufacturer has 8 different 3D printers, which allow us to make one of our product every 2 minutes.
A bell signifies the means to an end of an important moment in your life. My little sister had her last treatment and rang her bell in April of 2020. With our product, every cancer patient story can sound a little more like this.
That was awesome. Great job. I know you mentioned that all of the materials are FDA approved, but when you're selling through the hospital, would your 3D printed material need to be approved by anyone other than the hospital?
So the FDA actually has a list of materials online that you can use to take a look and see which products would be safe for medical use, and PLA Filament Plus is specifically used for that purpose. So it would be safe, and it would be daily use, and you would remove it once you're done so it would be safe and prevent infection.
Awesome presentation. And I think we have 4 bioengineers of the future here. As a bioengineer, I'm kind of biased, but my question was going to be, is it disposable? But I think it is based off of what you're saying. So what would the price point be for one? Or would it be sold in a pack? Or can you elaborate on that?
So when we were looking at this, I factored in the unit cost, which would be about $2 per unit, just because of mainly the adhesive, which is a lot more expensive than the actual product itself. But we are planning to sell it in about 365 packaging, which would cost around $750 for the entire year, and that would get them 1-day use for each one.
Per year. Awesome. And how long is chemo treatments usually? Like, would they need a year-long supply, or would they need 6 months, or?
So usually ports can be kept into your body for months or even years at a time, and it really just depends on how long your treatment is, and it can vary significantly because ports are, once they're under your skin, they're pretty safe normally. And so it just varies depending on what type of cancer the person has and what kind of treatments they're going through.
Awesome.
That was really great, guys, and I'm sure you've also looked at other applications. I mean, your primary application is fantastic, but there's probably some other applications in wound care and other near adjacent areas that really expand your market. And of course, the national and international market is just enormous for something like this. Talk to me about your staffing and how you will manage staffing as you scale the company up.
For our staffing, currently we're just trying to primarily work on just the 4 people so far. But eventually we will grow our business to a couple more, and mainly just the people for quality assurance checking and things like that.
That was really great.
Thank you guys so much for your questions.
Thank you.